Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday Bagel, the podcast where we explore the evolving intersection of law, technology, and society. I'm your host, Michał Jackowski, and today I'm joined by Bradley Collins, co founder and CEO of Legal Tech Talk, Europe's largest legal transformation event. From a background in event and digital marketing, Bradley has built a community that now attracts thousands of legal professionals, technologists, innovators, with over 4,000 participants in 2025 and more than 300 speakers. Legal Tech Talk has become a major platform shaping the conversation around legal innovation. Bradley, welcome to the show.
Hey Mel, thank you for having me. Good to be here and thank you for joining us in June as well.
Yeah, thank you for having me there. Maybe you could start by telling us about your career journey. How did you transition from event and digital marketing into legal tech world? What was so attractive in this legal world?
Sure. Yeah, just to give you a little bit of background. So I've been in the events and media world since I left school. I skipped university, so had a 3-year head start on most people in my career, which worked out quite well for me in the end. And yeah, I started at Central Media, which is a company that owns The Lawyer, but worked across a different portfolio there. And we built a big marketing show, a big awards event we was involved with. We had magazines, we did subscription learning platforms. So we did a lot of things that sort of helped marketers do their jobs better, essentially. And I was on the advertising side there, selling adverts. I started off in the back of the magazine, the classified section. So a lot of cold calling people and worked my way up. I had 5 different job titles while I was there and then ended up winning an award, salesperson of the year across the group. After that, I did a bit of traveling and then came back to another bigger media company, a group called Essential, which was a FTSE 250 company at the time. Recently got acquired by Informa, which is the biggest event group in the world, I believe. They run big events like Cannes Lion, it's the biggest advertising show in the world. Money 2020, which is the biggest fintech shows around the world, like 12,000 people in Vegas. I always tell people, I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg performed the after party there one year. It was when I wasn't in the business. Somebody told me that. So these events are a bit different to like other events you might experience in the legal space, and I don't think there's anything in legal that compares to these events. And I also won a salesperson award at that company in the group, so I was quite good at selling sponsorships of events and digital media and advertising campaigns, and always working with marketing people to help them reach different industry sectors. I was then thinking about starting my own business, and got approached by a startup, InsurTech Insights. They was very early on in their journey, and I joined them in year one. And we built the biggest insurance sector events in Europe and Asia and the second biggest show in America in a very short period of time, and also navigated COVID and become a digital media company. And we ended up being more profitable and made more revenue in that year than we did the year before when the events were happening. So sort of combined this sort of digital media side with the events, which was really cool, and survived, which was important because it was tricky to navigate that. And after doing this, the common thread between all of these was around transformation and innovation and change and disruption that were happening in these various different industry sectors. Business models were transformed in many sectors. And so when looking at industries to go in, and I met my co-founder Mikkel at that company, and was at the rooftop in New York after doing our US show. I was like, "Hey, Mikkel, we've done this event in 3 continents now. Like, I think we know what to do. Should we go and build our own thing?" And he said yes. And the question was, yeah, which industry was slower than insurance to innovate? No offense, legal, but you came up and you've been a lot slower than other industries to go through transformation. And I think that's for a number of different reasons. And we also looked at investment trends, and in insurtech, like it boomed, like the money that was going into startup just boomed. And before that, it was the fintech space boomed. And every sector there's been lots of investment, lots of unicorns. And in legal, there was only 2 unicorns at the time. And it's like, okay, maybe legal is next.
And you succeeded. It's fascinating because it shows how skills from outside the legal sector can transform and professionalize legal industry. So maybe you can tell us about Legal Tech Talk. It has grown from quite small gathering to few thousand participants quite rapidly.
Yeah.
So what was the breakthrough moment that set this growth?
We started from 0 people at a gathering to 2,000 to 4,000. So our first event was pretty big as well. I think our first event was as big as many events that's happened in Europe. So We wanted to come out of the blocks and hit the industry with a bang. We didn't want to start small, like most events. Like we wanted this event to be the biggest event in Europe from year one. We came close or close enough, but we created all the hype by doing that. And yeah, we spent 18 months on the first event, so all
Okay.
our effort went into this. And it starts with getting big name speakers and having a track record in insurance helped us sell the idea to speakers that this is going
So
to be an event.
how did you succeed to gather good speakers for event number one? Because it's a huge problem very often.
Yeah, I mean, many people had doubted and yeah, didn't believe that it was possible. But we said to everybody, we're going to build the biggest event in the world. Well, we started with Europe. We're now telling people we're going to build the biggest event in the world. And some people believed us and some didn't. But the people that believed us helped make the people who didn't believe us, because when they look for our
Mhm.
speaker lineup and see all of these amazing people, they're like, oh, actually, maybe this is a real event. And then eventually you can start. Actually, we started getting sponsors on board very early, which helps because we have to cover the cost of the venue somehow, and we want
Mhm.
to put on a good show so people enjoy it when they get there. There's a bit of a blueprint. It starts with speakers, then sponsors, and then like using the speakers and agenda you've got to be able to market the event and attract attendees. And it's not rocket science, but there's lots of small nuances and things and tricks and ways to do things that I guess you only learn by doing this for 15 years and sort of experiencing all the mistakes and going through all the mistakes before and anticipating things that you need to do. I wish I could just say like this is how you do it, but it's a lot of small things.
I really could see the small things that created big differences during your event. It was awesome. So, from your perspective, how do European and American approach to adopting legal technology and how it differs?
Yeah, I'm not an expert on this, but I speak to a lot of people, and I think there are differences. And Europe are ahead on certain things, America are ahead on certain things. So there are definitely differences. And yeah, some legal techs that sell into the US market struggle in Europe and vice versa. Some succeed with both. You've seen Legoro move over to US recently, and Harvey are doing very well in Europe as well as an example. But there are differences. We've started with the European event, but we are paying attention to the US, and there seems to be a bit of demand. A lot of our sponsors are saying, when are you going to do an event in America? There's a big opportunity there, but there's also existing big events in America as well. I was just at ILTACON a couple of weeks ago, which was a great event.
During the event, it was like, I don't know, 300, 400 players showing at Legal Tech Talks. So there are established players like LexisNexis and a lot of startups. So who do you think is better positioned to shape the future? Big platforms with scale, startups, or
I
maybe
think,
something else?
yeah, I think both are incredibly important. I think these new players coming in can solve different problems that maybe wasn't being solved before, and they can be quick and agile, and they can do things quickly, and they can work very closely with their clients. I think there's more bureaucracy and things have takes slower with big companies, but there's also that trust element. Like you feel secure working with a big company like LexisNexis, which is incredibly important. You'll see big companies. So what I saw in insurance, for example, like we went from the same as legal, like a small handful of unicorns to I believe there's about 300 unicorns in insurance now. There's over 1,000 in fintech now. The same
Mhm.
thing happened in those industries. That's going to happen in legal, I believe. And you get these small companies that become big, the startups, and then you see consolidation where they merge and or the big companies buy the small ones and become a bolt-on of their existing offering. So it'll be an interesting market, but I think these younger companies coming in is because they see an opportunity here. It's an industry that needs change. It's been stuck in its way for many years. The processes have been the same. The business model of law has not changed. The
Mhm.
business model has changed in every industry. The way we consume TV and films, you see Netflix and
Mhm.
Blockbuster. The way we order taxis has changed. The way we book hotels has changed. The way we get groceries delivered to every industry has had a fundamental seismic shift. Yet legal is the same. And AI is changing that. Large language models, law is a business based on language and words and contracts and rules. And so it's ready to go through a big change.
AI dominated the last event, so it was obvious. 300 speakers, over 100 sessions. So how do you curate which voices deserve a platform? What teams will dominate the next event? Is it still AI, or maybe something else is on the way?
I don't think the agenda is going to change massively. I think what we will see is a lot more stories and success stories, and hopefully we can talk about some of the failures so other people can learn from those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, a lot of these companies are very early on in their adoption, and they're sort of learning together. I think, yeah, we're going to see more sort of tangible, okay, this is what we did, this is the outcome, this is what you can learn from it. By the way, everyone else, maybe you should do this and don't do this. One of the big takeaways from the event just gone was actually about people. It's all very well having tech, but it means nothing if people are not on board, if people are not excited by it, if people don't see the value in it, if people are not adopting it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think actually, like, whilst tech is here, I don't think it's going to replace people. I think people need to learn to work with it, and I think that's a big part of the agenda next year.
Okay, it's great theme because more and more people are scared of technology. So convincing them that it can be used in a trustworthy, reliable way, not losing jobs is, I think, one of the most important matter for closest future for legal business. But recent data suggests that AI use in law firms jumped from like 20% or some 10% 2 years ago to 70-80% right now. How do you observe this revolution? Is it happening or is it on paper? How do
No,
you?
it's definitely happening. I'm relatively new to the sector. I've been here for maybe 2 and a bit years now, and when I joined, there was so much skepticism. Oh, law firms always talk about innovating. They don't really do it. They just say it to look good in front of clients, and then they go
Mhm.
back to their day job, and everything goes back to normal. And actually, like, we post a lot of stories on social media about these partnerships between tech companies and law firms, and we're now probably doing 4 posts a day about these kind of things happening. So yeah, the adoption rate I can see is gone up massively, and it's just, you just look at the funding that some of these startups are getting. I mentioned there's only 2 unicorns when we launched or thought about launching, and I think we're seeing 2 more unicorns every other week. And there's a reason why investors are backing these startups, and it's gonna be because of their financial achievements to date and their projections. So 100% adoption is increasing massively, and I don't want to be cliche, say, oh, law firms that will be replaced by AI, or those that will use it will replace others that don't. But I think it's table stakes now. I think if you're not at least paying close attention and starting your AI journey and tech journey, are you going to be replaced? It's going to be tricky to then learn how to do it 2 years, 3 years down the line when everyone has a huge advantage over you. So it is imperative, I think, now.
So I wanted to ask you how in 5 or 10 years ahead, where do you see legal tech and legal tech industry? But in this business, the change is so rapid that should we speak about closest future only?
Yeah, I just look 1 or 2 years ahead as far as our business is. Well, actually, I think like far ahead. But I think change happens all the time, and when AI is finished, there'll be another thing. There'll be another thing. We had machine learning. I did marketing events back in the day, and it was then about automation. I mean, that's AI then. AI has been around for a long time. It's not just been the
Hmm.
last year, but there's
Hmm.
always another hot thing. Then we had programmatic advertising. That was a big buzz. There's going to be another buzz in 3 years if it's not still AI. And when that comes, our event's going to be in a good position to talk about that as well.
So do you have any prediction how this part of business will look like in 2-3 years? I mean, the legal industry, your business as well, but it's the next
Yeah,
question.
I guess it depends if you're looking at law firms or in-house. We cover both sides of the fence. I think the thing that fascinates me more is the law firm side of things, because it's a business model and not a function. I think in-house will benefit greatly from being able to take a lot of things in-house, and they're getting budgets cut. They have to do more with less. AI can help them do those
Hmm.
things, and I think the teams are going to reshape, and legal ops is becoming a much more important function within that. And you need more product managers, and how do you integrate the law firm tech in-house, sorry, legal department with the rest of the wider business? Lots of really interesting things. I think with the law firm side of things is the most interesting, because the business model needs to change. I think the business model of law is broken when AI is here to make you more efficient, yet we charge by the hour.
Hmm.
And investments in tech often come into fruition in 4 or 5 years' time. You see the benefits, and the partnership model means that whatever profit we make this year is what we get paid on.
Hmm.
What benefit do we have? I might retire in 2 years. Why do I care about something that's going to happen and benefit us in 4 years' time? And there are short-term benefits as well, but this model just means. But then you're going to get these smaller, I think, and maybe potentially, and these medium law firms that can now do the work of bigger law firms because AI is giving them a resource of 100 attorneys. Um, that can maybe these have the biggest incentive to really innovate and take the market share from the bigger players, and maybe the bigger players will then retaliate. I don't know. It's an interesting world, I think, the law firm side of things.
Yeah, I take part in discussions about breaking this business model for a few years, for last few years, but nobody knows what business model replaces the old one.
It's very difficult, and it's a slow thing. I think it's not going to be an overnight thing. I mean, there's a reason why the law firms have resisted change, and I guess they're protecting their jobs. But I don't think jobs are going. I think maybe jobs will evolve and shift and change. And I think those that are able to adapt are in the best position.
What I saw after your event, many people benefited from closer relations to legal tech firms. So, how do you see your business? Will such events still be needed once technology becomes mainstream?
I think so. I mean, I think one industry that's difficult to take away with AI is events, because people, especially in the world of AI, like, is this a deep fake? Is this image real? Like, I think it's even more important for people to be together in person. I don't think that's ever going to go away. And actually, in the world of AI, maybe we need it even more. The topics will change. I don't know what those topics will be once we stop talking about AI, and there'll always be something to talk about. There's always technological advancement. There's always evolution in every sector, and law stayed the same for a long time, but it's changing quicker. You said the adoption has gone up by 60% in a couple of years. Like, there's going to be a continuation of the stories and journeys and new things that happen all the time. One thing that's guaranteed is change and taxes
And death.
and I didn't want to say that. I don't want to be
Yeah.
morbid, but yes, those things are all guaranteed.
So maybe to end, how will Legal Tech Talk 2026 look like? Maybe you can tell us a few words. I know that we are during vacation and you think about resting after the huge event from June, but maybe you could tell us a
Yeah.
few words.
I think we have potential, and it's what we're aiming for our event in June, to be the biggest legal event in the world, not just legal tech, but legal event.
Okay.
Already the speakers we're signing up we continue to raise the bar from the speaker side of things. We now have like these managing partners and COOs and like the top people, global leaders from law firms joining us. We're seeing more of the global and group general counsel joining us now. We've got a call with Airbnb later today, Group GC, like these top sort of global household name brands. We're getting more and more. Which helps us attract more and more attendees, which helps us get more and more of the tech players. It all sort of like, we went from 2,000 to 4,000. We're aiming for closer to 6,000, if not more than 6,000 people at the next show, which I'm confident we will do. It's what I was involved with doing in the insurance space before this. We're doing it a lot quicker now in legal with all of those learnings. So yeah, it'll be hopefully the biggest event in the world, and we want to keep that sort of intimate feel as well, where you get very like-minded people together, and you get GCs from banks in a room together, for example, and from similar industries together. So we want to keep this sort of like intimate, curated experience for everyone who attends.
Mm-hmm.
When we're organizing the event, I always think like how Glastonbury, I don't know if you know Glastonbury Festival in the UK, but there is always something for everyone, no matter what you're interested in, no matter what music you like at any time of any day. And we try and curate the agenda like that, no matter what content you're interested in, what topics you're interested in, there is something for you at any time of any day. So we have like a lot of stages and workshops and roundtables. And if you want to take a break from the content, you want to get your hair cut or get your makeup done or get your massage, go to the hypnotherapy room, like whatever it is something for you all. The beer garden opens quite early. Some people question the 11 a.m. start, but if you want to have a beer at 11 a.m., who are we to stop you? Everyone's in good spirits. So it's going to be more of what you saw this year, I think, just bigger and hopefully better. Bigger doesn't always mean better, but we want bigger and better.
Like I told you, it was awesome event, fantastic one. So I keep my fingers crossed that 2026 will be even better. So thank you for this discussion.
Great speaking with you, Michal. And I look forward to seeing you again in person at the next one.
I hope so. And to our
Likewise.
listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Monday Bagel, share it with your colleagues, explore the links in the description to learn more about legal tech talks. And see you next Monday.